Got that going. Got that going. Got that going. All right. The fuck was that? Oh, all right. So, part two.
Do we really need to do this to ourselves?
Yes, yes, we do. But
Okay, everybody, from this point on, blame him.
it's all my fault. It's okay. I blame myself all the time. No,
Hey, damn, he admits it. That's a new one.
hey, this one's actually going to be kind of relatively quick, unlike us going off about furries taking an hour. Holy
It's
crap.
furries. How many times do we have to cover it? There are two subjects you and I should never talk about on a show. WoW and furry fandom. And God forbid we ever get the smart idea to talk about them both at once. That will chew up an entire day.
Yeah, that will. That will just be like the end of our lives for that day. Done and over with.
Incidentally, I want all of y'all to go over and follow Blizzard. When you hear about 7.3.5, just skip our shows for the next 3 weeks. And when Battle for Azeroth comes out, just unsubscribe and join up in a year. Because it ain't going to be nothing but Warcraft from that point out.
At least for a solid week or two, it's gonna be nothing.
Oh, solid month at least. Remember how bad Legion got?
True. Very true. Anyways,
Yes.
speaking of World of Warcraft beta, no.
I just got done with that podcast 3 hours ago.
I had to make the joke. It was there. It was perfect. I mean,
If anybody wants to listen to it, go on chaoticravings.com. It was quick for me. It only took 18 minutes.
anyways, so we both. I found this video because I follow Nerd City, and this was actually a great.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
That was okay, and I will say this. You know what? I love Nerd City. I fucking love Nerd City. They are great. I love them. Especially Dr. Downvote. Come on.
That is such a good name.
Doc, it's brilliant. It's got great high production values. It's got great, and it covers something that just will come out of left field. Like they did the DO5 thing, and took that into a hilarious and dark territory. They've done all sorts of things, but the recent video was actually talking about kind of tying into the ad apocalypse and everything else. Is what do these ad exception codes mean? Now, mind you, the Dr. Downvote did make an update that was only in the text of the video, talking about how these ad exception codes were being hidden now. After a bunch of people brought to light what these codes mean, what they do, and how they affect a YouTube video. The YouTube has started hiding these codes now, and won't admit they're hiding them. They won't admit it.
I was going to say, instead of just saying, yep, this is what it is, and this is... Because that would be very good if you could look and say, okay, these are the codes that we are issuing, and you could go through and look back and see those codes.
And you sit there and go,
It's
okay,
like,
why?
Oh,
Okay,
maybe I am swearing too much, or maybe this was just a little too forward, or what. And you would know how to change your behavior.
or maybe, talking about dragons ripping fox assholes in half. I mean, that might be a line too far.
Actually, I think they're going to have to create a code for that one.
6969, I don't know. But anyways,
No, the code, it'll be the only verbal code. It'll be yuff, and thanks, you asshole. You just screwed over every furry content creator.
wait.
With that one code.
Wait. Let me see if it'll. Let me see what that YIF will be on like a phone. Let's see here. Why?
Oh,
So 9433. 9433. There you go. 9433. If your video gets a 9433, one, YouTube, I want to be paid for that code, and two, I apologize. I apologize. On the other hand, hey, if YIF gets its own code on YouTube,
you will single-handedly fuck over the finances for an entire fandom.
I'm famous.
No, you're infamous. There's a
Potato,
difference there.
potato. Potato, potato. If you can't make a crowd like you, make them fear you.
Or just want to shoot you, which is where you're headed.
Yeah, potato, potato. But anyways, no. Doctor Downvote. I keep wanting to say disrespect, but disrespect is not anywhere as cool as Downvote. Doctor Downvote and Nerd City put out a video talking about the exception codes and how these codes affect you and what some of those codes were. And some of them were actually kind of interesting. What was it? I will actually have to pull up the video now because I'm an idiot because I forgot to pull it up. But some of them were actually quite good and quite interesting. And it was kind of nice to actually figure out what those codes were. And I would honestly, and like you said, honestly, I think they should leave in those codes, leave in the exceptions, so you can sit there and figure out what you're doing wrong, why you're, how you're doing it wrong, and so you can try to be a little more, A, advertiser friendly, and B, so you can try to actually fix your channel. If you if you don't know what you're doing that demonetizes your code or demonetizes your channel, and you don't know why or how and whatnot, you just get demonetized. Because YouTube is fucking garbage at communicating. You hear me, YouTube? You are garbage at communicating.
Oh, come on. That isn't even a secret.
No. But I want to just remind them over and over and over again. As many people are doing. Because they are terrible. What was it? Several people found out better information about why something was going on with YouTube from a third-party site than from YouTube itself. It was like, what? And now, mind you, the video that Nerd City and quite a few others have put out is actually coming off of a video source done by another YouTuber by the name of, I gotta make sure I have the right name here, of Sealow, who had studying 800,000 different accounts roughly, going through studying the codes, seeing how what these codes were, why they were demonetized, things like that, and then talking about and analyzing what these codes were. And there's quite a few of them. Like there's like 119, 104, there's no set database quite yet, but oh wait, there is the report. There is the report. Thank God there is a report. And my system's going to lag out a little bit because of this. But it's actually an interesting file. Methodology analysis of scrapped evidence. And it's a full it's almost a full scientific term paper that Sealow has put out, and it's actually really fascinating. And I will link it down, and I will link the Nerd City and the Sealow paper and the Sealow video below this video, because like an example is main category ID 102, and it's a regular subvalue is represented as the following manner. But 102 is strong language and can be seen by the varying levels of severity labeled with different subvalues. Now, some people may not understand what that means, but it's basically like 102 is profanity and rough language. That's a very, very broad term. 104 is sexually suggestive content, sexual references. Again, that's very broad. 105 is tragedy and conflict. 109 is sensational and shocking. 115 is sensitive social issues, controversial, guns, LBGT, things like that. And it's kind of interesting how the algorithm for this bot is tagging these things and suppressing the data for various videos and links like that, so YouTube can better monetize and administrate its entire site with these fucking bots. But and a lot of sites have already put out these videos talking about this monetization code, this censoring code, the ad exceptions, so on and so forth. And I just thought Nerd City was actually one of the better ones put out there, because I've seen, I think H3H3 Broadcast Productions has put one out. I know quite a few others have put out various videos already talking about these ad exception codes and what they mean, what they do. But I think honestly, so this is kind of us, Ad City doesn't really need the bump, but on the other hand, we like to, sit there and go, this was the best one we've seen so far. And it was like a 10-minute video. It's just like, this is what the codes do, this is what it, how this affects you. And it was presented in a hilarious format, and that stuck with us better than others. And it actually gave us all the information we really needed, wanted, desired. And I think my co-host died.
No, it's code speak. And I actually tried going through some of mine, but I couldn't. That's when they had already taken the code tag off.
Yeah.
So now you're just looking for numbers. There's no way in hell you're going to do that.
Well, you can, but it's a pain in the ass. It really is a pain in the ass to try to find the numbers and whatnot. Because then you're sitting there digging through all this code, and it's like, ooh. But it is kind of funny that YouTube have now removed the excluded ads from the source code. They've not released any statements denying the claims in the report. Removing function without any statement denying the claims is a clear indication that the censorship is real and they want to hide it.
That to me doesn't make any sense. Like we said, why wouldn't you want people to know how to fix their stuff so they could better?
Yeah, well,
or like me, or like you or me, we don't honestly give a fuck. That's one reason I started doing YouTube and then I stopped. Was because just like these or chaotic thoughts or whatnot, if anybody who knows me knows I don't censor very well.
Yeah, if we get a fan base, we get a fan base. If we don't, we don't. Yeah. We're having fun and engaging in shenanigans. The 41 people that follow me around, hey, you guys are awesome. Like the 3,000 people that came through and watched my reaction videos. Holy crap! Wow. But knowing what what codes will be what would be most relevant, most likely to occur in a video, sits there and allows you to sit there and go, okay, how do I want to grow as a channel? How do I want to improve what I'm doing? How do I want to be better? To bring in money for the company and bring in money for myself. It is a matter of growth and improvement for everyone to be actually able to know these codes. Secondly, actually knowing what the codes mean is really important. Not just like knowing, the codes are there, but actually knowing what they mean. Yes, I mean, you could sit there and argue, well, it's about the code programming and it's corporate, it's to prevent corporate sabotage. Why we don't? It's like, no, it's not about preventing corporate sabotage. It's about hiding your bullshit and censoring. Because the next part comes to is with these codes in there, there's obvious and legitimate actual suppression of metadata and of videos. 2 videos, and this was a perfect example done by Nerd City. Was 2 videos talking about makeup that are, artistically exactly. They are artistically perfect. The only difference is one features a person in drag doing it, and the other one involves a straight female doing it. And the one featuring the person in drag will not appear in the metadata and things like that because it would be considered controversial and thus wouldn't have ads on it and would be suppressed compared to the other video because it would be a straight normal person, and that's kind of shady shenanigans, especially for a company that's supposed to be all about being inclusive and being open and welcoming of the gay crowd. But the moment you step out of line and say something negative, or something controversial, or that doesn't go with their narrative, they suppress you and compress you down, and they deliberately do it.
Well, that's what I said. I don't know why. We were talking in the last one about Boozy and how Twitch is very apparent. When you're doing something wrong, they tell you.
Yeah. And that's a prime example is Twitch. I won't say it's 100% of the time. But if you're doing something and you are violating rules, and you aren't a regular offender, or you're kind of new and you have a small fan base, generally an admin will pop in and message you and go, hey, So right now, this is, you're kind of violating the terms of service. This is how you're violating it. This is what's going on. You need to knock that shit off. And mind you, that is a case example. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes the channel will just get shut down. Sometimes nothing will happen. But if a admin does catch it, does see it, and sit there, and they're in a good mood, or whatever have you, they'll sit there and go, hey, this you need to knock this off, or I'm going to have to suspend you / ban you. And that's very transparent for the most part. Twitch does have its own kind of shady shenanigans at times, but not to the level of YouTube.
It's to the point that with Twitch, even if for some reason they don't explain right away, you can contact them and they will let you know.
You will find out one way or another, yeah.
Right.
Whereas
again, with YouTube, if they're bound determined that no matter what you do, they're never going to let you know. Well, how are you supposed to improve?
Well, yeah. Well, and another example is like with their fucking with YouTube stupid ass bots. I just got another email notification that an old video of mine was flagged for another copyright claim by the same group and company and for like the other 4 copyright claims on the exact same video for the exact same things for the different music throughout it. It's like, okay, fine. Mind you, these claims come in like once every couple months for the same video. Like, the same video has got about 12 claims on it now. But the funny thing is the music, at the time I used it, was free royalty. It was royalty and fair use music. Now, if I can try to argue that, and it might win, it might not. Doesn't matter. Copyright claims are still there. And it's just like, bad boy, move on. I'll never see money off of that. Yeah, whoop-de-fucking-do. But that's a case example of someone out there has monetized this, this music, and sat there in disagreement with the original intent, where at the time it was fair use, and I've gotten no notifications to take it out or take it down. Just boom, claimed. Or recently with YouTube's little hacker bug that they are denying was a hacker bug, where a bunch of big name channels got terminated for copyright strikes when there was no actual strikes. There was nothing they actually did. They were just taken down because someone hacked YouTube and decided to ransom the company. YouTube did not communicate this and just says, oh, it was a glitch. When there are people sitting there going, no, we hacked YouTube, this is what we did. Yeah, no, they're full of shit. YouTube is terrible at communications, either at allowing someone to improve themselves, trying to fix what they've done, at doing anything at this point. YouTube is not about the creators anymore. It is about YouTube's bottom line, which is very much true. And with them hiding the definitions of what these exception codes are, hiding that the add exception code line exists in the source code, and all these other things, kind of goes to show that it's not about you, not about the creator. It's about their sticking their head as far up their own ass as they can and see if they can keep making money.
That's the corporate response to everything the past few years, though.
Yeah. Though, and also in kind of light of this Adpocalypse 2.5 or 3.0 or where the fuck we're at now. Yeah, because that started right before Thanksgiving, right about Thanksgiving, when a bunch of Nike, Cure, a bunch of advertisers pulled their ads because it was coming up on what was basically child porn and pedophilia on YouTube. That has made national headlines and international headlines about the secret pedophiles of YouTube, and YouTube act all shocked and amazed at this. And I can pull up a video from a couple of people who are decent-sized YouTubers who brought up yes, there was a problem 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, YouTube doesn't want to listen to the people who make them money because the people that make them money are the ones that are making them money. And when you start fucking your cash cow, there's a problem.
Yeah, that I'm really. I don't know if I'm just too old for a lot of this shit, but when you look at some of these problems, there was some company that did this too. I can't remember what it was. Oh, Equifax. When Equifax got hacked, it took them how many months? All they had to do was, and then
Which time when you're talking
recently,
about the first time they got hacked, or like the fifth
oh,
time?
fuck you! I don't know how many. The one that just came up within the past couple.
Yeah, like I said, the first time or the fifth time.
Yeah. Now you see why I don't pay attention to news. But they said, well, if you want to come on and you want to look at our site, you can figure out if you're hacked or not. So what they do in that code to check out that site, they said, if you do this, you waive any chance to, which is why I haven't gone back to that site.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, it's just easier to shift blame or do what, even if it's clearly their fault.
Yeah.
It's easier just to shift blame or ignore it altogether.
Instead of just, taking the hit on the chin, going, okay, we fucked up. Let's fix this. They refuse to sit there and actually fix the problem. They just keep adding on more problems. I think a great example recently also is, and Jim Sterling talked about this, and quite a few other YouTubers talked about this, when they started the demonetization thing. The yellow dollar symbol. That they... Several weeks after they started that is when they put in the manual review system. That was kind of ass backwards. They should have put in the manual review system first and then started demonetizing.
Yeah.
That would be, and that goes back to something I talked about a ways back about how YouTube need to hire more basically sin eaters, people who sit there and manually go through content, review it, check it, have to deal with it, basically be sin eaters, quality control, quality assurance, and see all the horrible, terrible shit, and make money doing that. And it's a terrible, shitty job. It is. I would be.
The problem is the whole reason they do this stuff is because they're trying to get it done with
computers.
With the best bottom line. They don't care if they have to hire people.
Oh,
but they'll hire the absolute smallest amount they can.
Yeah,
because they want more money.
Yeah,
that's why they automate. Yeah, we were talking about what were we talking about? Something animated yesterday. You, me, and Sam. Whatever it was. We were talking about there was a company animating something, and we were just sitting back and wondering how long it would take for all the bricks to fall again, because it seems like they don't automate anything that would be simple. That would be, okay, if we automate this, everybody can see it, nobody can find. They always go for the absolute. If we animate this, we'll save enough to buy a yacht at the end of the month. It's like, why don't you start small? Why do you have to fuck over everything at the top right away? I don't. And so many companies, same thing with ads. It's like, why do you have to start with all? Did they even test this with anything? Or it's like, oh no, that looks good, and just hit the button.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
That's what most of them do. It's like, oh, we can run this and it'll do this. Okay. And they don't even look at it. They just let it loose.
And then when it's not working, they sit there and go, oh, well, the algorithm is still learning. Expects that there's going to be some problems here and there. Well, if the algorithm is still learning, why does it have any power to affect things right now? That's... Yeah,
if it's still in beta, basically...
If it's still in alpha, basically.
Yeah.
Why does it have power to affect anything? Why?
It makes me wonder, is Valve in charge of all this shit? Look at how well their alphas do in that goddamn Steam of theirs. It's like, oh, hey, you put 3 sprites together. Here, you can charge $20 for it. Maybe Valve are the Illuminati. This would make a whole bunch of sense now. I think we've solved all the problems in the world. Valve is the Illuminati, and that's why things are running like shit. Okay, well, hey, episode done. We got that solved.
Wow.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it? How long has Jim Sterling and others been looking back at the early access and whatever it is now and just pointing out problems, and they just sit there. And they don't do anything about it. And then they might change the name, but the problems are all still there.
Steam Direct right now is a...
Yeah, it's basically what Greenlight was. It's just a whole different name. So...
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Fuck you, Valve. Okay.
Answer solved. Google is Valve, and Valve is Google. They are.
Google always said that Google is evil, and we know Valve is evil. So one or the other of them bought each other, and we're just not sure who. Maybe it was a mutual thing. I don't know.
It's an eternal cycle of sucky fucky. One sucking the other while the other one's fucking the other. It just goes around in a 8-piece, just like.
I was gonna say that sounds mighty hard on the spine there. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people can bend that way.
But you have to remember, it's not people involved, it's a couple of bots circle jerking each other.
And because they can multitask, they can do it and fuck everybody else over at the same time.
Exactly. So, speaking of things that are fucked over and dying horribly, and I'm going to actually be able to pop this one, and boop! Right, there it is. Vidme, one of the sites created to compete as a new platform to fight against YouTube, is, well, going under. Let me shrink that down. So
I think the only place I would ever try might be Vimeo or something like that. Vimeo is not bad, or Dailymotion isn't bad either.
Vimeo is also another site that's kind of, well, fuck it, I'll have to just deal with it the way it is. But yeah, no, it's an email that was actually, I got the other day. When did I get this? I got this 2 days ago on the 1st. So as of the 1st, I got this email that sent me to a link talking about, goodbye for now from Vidme. And what it means for the users is, new signups and uploads will be disabled effective today. So as of the 1st, they were disabled. Existing videos will be playable and exported from your video manager until the 15th at noon, at which point they will be permanently deleted from Vidme. All paid channel subscriptions will be suspended immediately, and subscriber-only videos will be exclusively accessible to their video owners. Any outstanding earnings will be paid out upon verification within 60 days. All Vidme paid subscription options that will cease as of today, and subscribers will no longer be billed. And they talked about why they started, what they accomplished with instant video sharing, and why they're moving on, and this and that, and yada yada yada. And insight for newcomers, and what's next for the team, and a big thank you, and a go fuck yourself, is what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
Basically, so, and it's kind of interesting that this is all occurring during what is a really bad time for YouTube, that Vidme is closing up since so many people were jumping off a ship off of YouTube to, like, Vidme and Vimeo and other sites because, well, they were offering paid subscriptions, they were, having high CPMs, all sorts of stuff, and now they're closing up shop, and they do talk about advertiser issues and whatnot. So it sounds like either YouTube muscled them out of business, or advertisers muscled them out of business, or because so many people jumped off of YouTube at one time, that the YouTube content creator community killed Vidme by forcing them out of business.
It makes me wonder, thinking we were talking about First Stream yesterday, because First Stream is closed now.
Though
First Stream, one thing I liked about it, even though it was very, very backwoods in its operation, there were problems a lot of the time.
Very backwoods.
But you could donate, but you didn't have to.
Yeah.
And it was a completely free platform. There were no ads. There were no real subscriptions. That's what, if I were to look for something like this, I would almost try, because a long time ago, I got something where you could set it. If I were to set it up now,
but at the same time,
I would do like what Jim Sterling did, set up a Patreon, and then just have no ads at all. Just like,
but at the same time, now you can't use Jim Sterling in an example of like running a video hosting site and creating content.
I'm talking about.
Those are two radically different things.
I'm talking about using an outside source to fund the website.
But that's like that again. That's kind of two wholly different things, because Twitch and YouTube do kind of run off of ad revenue, so they need the ads to be able to keep running. Even though YouTube is running at a significant loss every year. And I don't know what Twitch is, but I guess Twitch is actually operating pretty decently. They might be running at a small bit of a loss, but nothing serious. Whereas YouTube is running at a major loss. But they still need adverts and whatnot to pay for servers, pay for developers, things like that, to keep the lights on and keep running. Whereas,
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying is that there are ways to get around that.
But what you're talking about is crowdfunding and crowdsourcing to completely cut out ads, and that doesn't work for a video hosting site. You kind of need ads to run a video hosting site. Something to keep the lights on. Because you can't depend on people to keep the lights on for you. We've seen that. Now you can sit there and go, okay, if X amount of if you want to do no ads on your channel, like what Twitch does, you have a subscription to X person, and the site takes like 1/3 of that subscription price. Meh. That's that way it balances out. If FurStream had done like a paid subscription service where people were subscribing to like Kage or whatever, like say $3 a month, and FurStream took $1. Hey, there you go. And if they had like a limited ad feature where they found somehow to have someone fucking run ads on them, possible, but who knows.
Well, you could always have. There are many scripts out there you could do where you could set up your own. So like if the Drag It Show wanted to promote, they could, pay for clicks and you could always have closed community ads paying for it too. Where I've been on plenty of sites that do that, and they, it's just a question of what your audience
how many of those sites are one, video sites, and two, are still around?
Well, all of them were basically
they were forums or image hosting sites.
No, actually they weren't. But all of them were started about 13 years ago. So let me put to you, how many websites are around that were started 13 years ago?
Yeah, but they aren't video sites. Are they? They may have videos on them, but they are not video hosting sites solely.
Actually, I can't remember. I know a couple of them were search engines.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. That's using metadata.
This is where I wish my memory were a lot better than it was.
So far, you're coming up blank, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm always coming up blank. That's no news.
Yeah. So, but it did kind of come as a surprise to me that Vidme was closing up shop and saying, bye everyone. It was fun. Bye bye. Peace out. It was like, what? Wait, what? What? That was like out of left field shenanigans that I didn't see coming. So my mic gets.
Well, it could just be that. I mean, YouTube's had a great run. Let's not deny it. It could just be that with the way things are going, the idea of a website like YouTube may just not be all that popular anymore.
Well,
I mean, look at Facebook. You can easily if anybody wanted to be a content creator, make your channel on Facebook and upload your videos to Facebook.
And that is one of those things that they did show is some of the sites that were direct competition. YouTube and Facebook and Vimeo and Pandora for some fucking reason.
I didn't even know Pandora was still around.
Pandora is still around. But, a lot of these sites, were in direct competition. Just, some of the things that made VidMe really unique had already been stolen and incorporated into other sites and made them more accessible. But at the same time, I do think to a certain extent that all of the people jumping ship off of YouTube did kind of lend a hand to hurting VidMe. Because, I know quite a few content creators that went to VidMe were making videos and and were booming, and they were making a lot of money off of VidMe, and that I don't think VidMe actually prepared for that kind of thing. I don't think they were ready for that. Whereas, like the infrastructure of Twitch, because they came from Justin TV, and now they've kind of gone back to Twitch Justin TV. But they had the groundwork and the platform and whatnot ready on Twitch to accept all these people fleeing from YouTube.
Yeah.
So they weren't hurt as badly. Now, if only we could get some of the fucking YouTube people that went over to Twitch off of Twitch and onto another site. Because holy shit, some of them need to go away. Wow.
Yeah, quite a few of them need to go away, actually.
Yeah, they do. But though, an interesting point, and that keeps, and this is something I can't really agree with. Part of how how YouTube is still running at this point is based solely off of the YouTube drama, the internal drama all the time, between content creators, between the adpocalypse, things like that, because of all the internal drama of YouTube, which is also what's driven away advertisers and content creators, is also what keeps YouTube going. It's a self-sustaining system of deprecating bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, one fucking YouTuber who I enjoyed his content until recently, and I was talking with you and Sam about this last night, was he was trying to be edgy and funny by referring to another YouTuber who's a complete fucking idiot as Mongoloid in place of their last name. Mongoloid is actually a really offensive term. Quick study real quick of Mongoloid, the word, where it comes from, is actually talking about southeastern Polynesian people, generally around the Pacific, Ring of Fire area. That was from the 12th century AD. From the 18th century until the late 20th century, Mongoloid was a racially acceptable term to degrade people with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So, yes, we get somebody's, an idiot and whatnot, and referring to them as Mongoloid once is like, okay, they're an idiot, fine. But continuing to hammer that single point over and over and over again, instead of trying to change it up, you are being you're being a fucking clickbaiting little edgelord who should probably quit while you're behind.
Yeah, true.
And you got nothing because you're tired at this point.
No, actually, I'm waking up, which means I'm not going to sleep at all tonight.
Sleep is for the weak.
Well, it just means that I'll probably be seen on the news tomorrow for having killed everybody in the fucking warehouse because I got trapped up in the mezzanine again.
As long as you don't have a high-powered rifle, I can't make the clock tower.
I couldn't hit anybody even if I did.
He's up in the clock tower. Run! Anyways.
No, he's up in the clock tower. Sit back and let's see how many times he can miss.
Ping, ping, ping. I'm standing in an open field. What the fuck?
It's like, no, I can't hit anything if people are standing still. They have to be moving, and even then, it would just be a random chance that I'd even hit anything.
It's terrible. And then And I think what we can close out with this is not the WoW beta note I had in here, because nope, we're not doing that. That'll take another hour and a half. We are not going to talk about WoW.
Honestly, I would love for that. I would love for sometime you and I to just like pick a starting zone and run through it. Because when I did it today, it only took me a little over an hour, and that wasn't even with heirlooms.
Yeah,
that was just straight running.
Anyways, we're not going to talk about the WoW beta. But since this is an important topic, given the timely deadline coming up, net neutrality.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I don't know. We've talked about net neutrality a lot.
Yes.
A lot over the years.
That was very appropriate. As you were saying that, your stream hit, so you were back like this for a second. It's like
a lot over the years.
Actually, it just did it again, so please don't do that anymore.
Lots over the years.
You're 3 for 3.
That's not actually. It's not actually hitching. That's me just pausing for a second and saying that. It's beautiful.
It sounds like a hitch on this end, though.
I know, it's a beautiful thing. But anyways, no, going all the way back to 2009, 2010 with SOPA and COIPA. Yeah, all the way back there with the stop. What was it? What was that? What was that called? SOPA. Protection Act, Online Protection Act. What was it? Security Online Protection Act or Secure Online Protection Act? Anyways, it was supposed to be or Safe Online Protection Act. I don't know. It was a piece of legislation that was trying to be passed through that had some interesting net neutrality killing verbiage in there. And then came COIPA, the son of SOPA, which was the Child Identity Online Protection Act, or the Child Online Identity Protection Act, something like that, which was to prevent basically pedophiles and predators online from hunting down children a lot more easier, while also stripping everyone of various rights and abilities and freedoms online.
Of course.
And we talked about that to high hell and back. There are some seriously long finite exposure episodes for that. And then there was the first couple attempts by net neutrality to be torpedoed, and we said, go fuck yourselves. But this time, we have a problem. And his name is Ajit Patil.
Mm-hmm.
The head of the FCC. Now, I laugh maniacally at a lot of people who are sitting there, putting these posts around of going, these are the 5 people you need to, email, call, and talk to, and tell them why killing net neutrality would be a bad idea. One of those 5 names is Ajit Patil, the guy who was put into office by Trump specifically to kill net neutrality.
Yes.
Do you really think, especially when that son of a bitch is standing up on his high platform on the internet, on TV, on radio, saying, no matter what you say or do, I'm going to kill net neutrality? Do you really think we're going to talk him down and out of it? No. Now, the rest of his cohorts, yes, we could probably actually talk down and convince not to engage in this act of pure and unadulterated fucking stupidity. It's very possible they are, intelligent, functional human beings who don't have their head buried so far up their ass they can taste the lunch from 3 months ago. But Ajit Patil, or Patil, or whatever the fuck his last name is, because I'm bad at pronouncing Hindi Indian names, Desi names, that's the word I was looking for, Desi names. I'm really bad at pronouncing them sometimes. We ain't gonna convince Ajit Patil of a fucking thing. All we're going to do is give him all of our personal phone numbers so he can sit there and go, well, this person was against net neutrality, send the FBI after them. This person was against net neutrality, send the FBI after them. This person was against net neutrality. We're going to completely censor the internet around their house for 5 miles. That's all you're doing, trying to contact that fucking loathsome, completely loathsome, scum-sucking invertebrate that was crawled out of some cesspool of internet hell. He's probably actually a wonderful, decent person when he's not in the office. However, he was pretty much programmed and designed to put into the head of the FCC position to destroy the net neutrality. There is nothing that we are going to say to change this son of a bitch's mind. Quit trying to convince his mind.
You're not.
Quit trying to convince him.
There's
convince
no way
everyone else. Convince everyone else. But you aren't going to change his mind. He worked for Verizon, for fuck's sakes. And when he worked for Verizon, they were anti-net neutrality. Guess what? He was one of the people spearheading the anti-net neutrality movement when he worked for Verizon. Do you really think a couple years later we're gonna change his goddamn mind? No, we aren't.
No, because he wasn't there for that. He was there to do a job, and he's done it. So...
yeah, he was a puppet put into place to do a job, and that job is to destroy net neutrality. And that is a serious concern. It's an actual legitimate problem now. It may not be, it might waffle back and forth like the last couple... No. Like, it's legitimately a concern now, because we don't need EAnicron to be running how we get the internet.
No.
Because that
would definitely not be good.
That is pretty much how some of that service packages would go. I mean, you get your basic internet for $50 a month. Oh, you would like to access social media? That's going to be $5.99 extra a month. Oh, you'd like to access streaming sites? That's going to be an extra $10.99 a month. Oh, you want to play video games online? That's going to cost you $29.99. And they're going to nickel and dime and DLC season pass the shit out of us like EAnicron just to access the fucking internet. And...
yeah,
that is why I'm saying you can probably convince everyone but Ajit Patil to change their minds. We ain't gonna change Ajit Patil's fucking mind.
No.
Quit trying to change that son of a bitch's mind. Like I said, outside the office, he's probably a wonderful, decent, awesome human being. But because of what he represents and where he stands, he is a scum-sucking saurian from the pre-medieval era. That's about pre-Cambrian. I mean, I'm pretty sure he lived at the same time as fucking graboids did. He's that ancient and backwards. And he was put into office to take that position to fuck everyone.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on it, since I've gone into a wonderful dark territory?
Not at the moment, no. So...
have I accurately depicted some of your general internal monologues considering the situation?
yeah, I mean, we've been dealing with this for so long. It's like the other basically every topic we've talked about the past couple of months, whether it's furries or WoW or whatever, it's just like so many of these things we're hearing are just regurgitated from before. It's like,
I know, it's great.
You can talk about anything. It's like, you know what? We'll be making these same points 6 to 8 months from now because the cycle never stops.
I'm really tempted.
It's not that it's any worse or any better. It's still important, but how many times are you supposed to talk about this?
I want to find some of those old finite exposure episodes and start replaying those. Because holy shit. Like
there
the ones
are
about
so many
SOPA and
things
COIPA.
There's so many things. It's like it isn't even worth our time to talk about because, we're preaching to the choir. Anybody who listens to that, I'd say 80% of them know what's going on and, have either decided one way or another on how they sit about it.
Yeah.
For good or bad. So, I mean, what are you going to do? If they've already, if all we're doing is talking to the same people that are in the same spot as we are, we can say it as much as we want, but, it's that wish in one hand, shit in the other. Which one's going to fill it faster? But if you're preaching to the people who have the same ideas, after a while, it just gets old.
There is to a certain extent. That's why I bring up the EAnicron joke, because that is actually pretty much how the internet would be divvied out. I mean, $5.99 for the social media package, $30 for the MMO gaming package, $15 for streaming, on top of what they will nickel and dime the ever-loving fuck out of you, just so you can pay on top of what you're already paying for. It is the DLC Season Pass, EAnicron, loot box bullshit fuckery that we're already dealing with as gamers that would be applied to our internet connection because of one goddamn cocksucker named Ajit Patil.
It's really, honestly, it's really just one of those things where I think people are when things are in motion, they don't worry about it, because the thing is, well, it's not here yet. I'll wait and see how bad it gets. And then when it does hit, then they complain that it's there now. Why didn't they stop it? Why didn't they stop? Why didn't they look at this? Well, because a lot of you sat around waiting for it to happen. Was the thing. And the more you do that, the more they say, well, we aren't hearing anything. Nobody seems worried about this, so we can do what we want.
Well, but that's also kind of why we kind of retread the same territory when it comes to net neutrality, SOPA, COIPA, things like that, because there is always somebody who hasn't heard about it, or who has been given bad information, or who needs a better frame of reference. The EAnicron loot box, gambling system for accessing the internet. We already pay $50 a month and are able to access all these features, like a complete game. When net neutrality goes away, we're going to be basically paying for, we're going to be playing the EA version of the internet, where we pay $60 a month for the game, for the internet. And then we have to pay, $30 for the extra content and the extra accessibility and everything else that we should just already be able to access and use because it was supposed to be a complete game, and they're nickel and diming us to fucking death.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's been a rather entertaining episode. What do you think? We got to see me lose my mind several times, mispronounce Ajit Patil several times, and we're probably at the point where I need to be checked for rabies.
Yeah, I think I saw a little foam around the mouth there. I honestly got to the point with you. I'm like, okay, I'm shutting my mind down, so I went and I made a laptop folder, and all the apps that I need from my laptop are all sitting waiting for me. No, that isn't you. It's just the fact that I'm getting to the point, and I mean, come on, I've been doing this for my life.
10 years.
Almost 12 years now.
I was close.
I started in April of 2006. And these, like we said, these problems are cyclical. They keep coming over and over and over and over and over. And it's like, I've been talking about some of this stuff since 2007, 2008. Why am I still talking about this stuff in 2017?
Because there's still problems in 2017. I think
because they refused to fix the problems in 2017.
Well, no. If they fix the problems at this point, it's going to be to destroy them. They're going to burn it to the ground, and they aren't going to. They're going to rebuild a far more worse monstrosity.
Yeah.
That's in some ways. That's generally when you burn something to the ground to rebuild. It's supposed to be to improve, to make better, to enhance everyone's life. That is why you are causing destruction and mayhem. But when you are burning something to the ground to build something far more evil and terrible, that's not creative chaos. That's just mayhem and anarchy. You goddamn cock-sucking sons of bitches. Hey, I'm earning my code 102. Thank you.
All you need to do to earn your code 102 is just bring me on.
Well, I let's see here. I have earned my code 102, my code 104, my code 109, and my code 115.
I don't think we earned the custom code we created on either show, though. We need to work on that.
We haven't. I got to double check that. We haven't earned code 9433.
No, we need to work on that.
We need. Well, you can work on that all you want. I don't want a code 9433.
Dude, do you know how little of that stuff is available on porn sites? You have to go to graphic sites, and that just doesn't work.
Now, the really sad part is there probably is actually going to be. There probably is some sort of code like 9433. And it's for something completely different, and we're going to get.
Well, that's fine. We've claimed it now, so that
and we're going to get into
what they think it means.
And we're going to get into a lot of trouble for it. But hey, whatever.
Oh,
Fuck
who
it.
Cares? Who cares?
If anyone is wondering what the code 9433 is, get your cell phone or your home phone out and just look at the letters on 9433. And find out what word that is. Just don't tell them. Don't tell them, Rendell. Don't tell them.
Why would I tell them? I want to hear their soul die a little bit when they figure it out. I can't do that if I spoil the surprise.
Exactly. Actually, I think that's going to be the title of this episode. Is can we get our code? Can we get our code 9433 with a side of Adpocalypse and goodbye Vidmeo? I think.
And he wonders why none of his videos work when his title is longer than the fucking alphabet.
No. I think it's a beautiful title. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, it is a beautiful title, but it really doesn't lend itself to search engines.
No, it does. Anyways, so on that note, since I have to upload and edit and do all that other fun, fancy stuff to these videos, we have crammed out 2 hours of content. 2 hours of content today.
You all better enjoy this, damn it.
Somebody better like it. I'm not sure who, because there's some sick fucks out there, but I hope somebody enjoys and likes it out there. So, on that note, I'm Chaos. He's Rendell. Oh, wait.
Hello.
Cut. There we go. This has been us fucking a 2-show feature that I'm going to upload over like 2 days, because holy crap. If I try to upload them both today, it's not going to end well. No, especially since I gotta do all the tags and all that fun stuff. Anyways,
I was gonna say, don't upload any of them today. I don't want to do any more today.
Just for that.
Now he'll put them both up. You're all welcome for me tricking him into doing actual work.
Hey, I work all night for 40 hours a week. Go fuck yourself. Anyways,
I don't bend that well.
So, in all of the light of our shenanigans and things like that, save net neutrality, error, add exception codes, and the end of Vidme, and talking about furries and WoW, and everything else we've gone through today for these 2 episodes, I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope everyone's having a good weekend, and hope everyone has a good week. And unlike my co-host, who's pretty much the walking embodiment of nihilism at this point.
Hey, I'm not as bad as Jinx yet. When I get that bad, then you have to worry.
So, with that in mind, say goodbye to the nice people, Rendell. Really?
Take care.
A salute, you dick. All right. Have a good day, everyone, and we will talk to you all later. And if I can actually hit the right button, there we go. And, yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Wrong button. There we go. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Push the button, Frank.